What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Strength Classroom. Today, I'm talking about, I got a subscriber message not too long ago. It said, like, how the hell do you keep the bar in your arms for Zercher? My forearms are always opening, and I can sure as hell not do it during Zercher deadlifts. So as someone that struggled with this, I'm going to pass on some things that help me. So, I'm going to talk a bit about why you should be doing Zercher exercises, what benefits they have, and then talk about all the cues that I go through when I'm holding the bar. And if you told me about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, that I would be able to hold 405 in my arms, Zercher style, I'd say you're crazy. But here we are. So, Zerchers, I think they should be in everyone's program, especially if you're a grappler or a football player. To me, it is one of the best squatting variations you can do, even better than the front squat in my opinion. But if you're an Olympic weightlifter, you're obviously going to disagree with me. So benefit number one is tension. So it creates tension and teaches you to create tension, not just through your back and legs and midsection, but also through your arms as well. So you need to learn how to brace and squeeze for all sorts of activities. And Zercher squats help you do that, because now you even have to close your hands with each other. Tension is just radiating throughout your whole body. And due to the bar's placement, you subconsciously or naturally have to create tension in all the right places that you might create tension before a hit or a throw or a grab or whatever your sport requires. Benefit number two, toughness and grit. Now, there's not too many exercises that you're just going to be able to tough it out through, but Zercher squats are one of them. So I'm not going to lie. This movement, it doesn't always feel good, okay? It doesn't feel the best, but you just have to tough it out, like I said. And this helps build some form of toughness, some form of strain. With many athletes, you're going to have to allow them to wrap some sort of padding, some body, anything really, just to wrap up. So this exercise teaches you to literally wrap your arms around something. Now I know what they're going to be wrapping around is bigger than a barbell, but you get the point. Safety. Now the reason I like about this, it's much easier to bail on a movement like this. You can just simply rest it on your legs and drop it, or because the bar is so close to the floor, unlike a barbell, you can literally just dump it forward and move out of the way. But I suggest you practice this first. Always, always, always do exercises with safety pins on the side just to avoid any accidents. And mobility. Not only does this exercise build mobility because you're able to sink in low on the squat, it actually doesn't require much mobility just due to the placement of the bar in front of you, and it's lower on your center of gravity. You don't need to worry about shoulder mobility. It's just you're focusing on the lower body, the core, and the upper back, but you don't have to balance anything really. So that's why I feel this is a great exercise also for beginners, because it allows them to feel the squat motor pattern without having to worry about balance, which with beginners that can always be an issue. So let's just go over some cues as if you were to unrack the bar from the rack, just to do a standard Zercher squat, not to a box, not off pins, just a standard Zercher squat. So first, you're going to set the rack just below your elbows. You're going to put the bar in the crease of your elbows, and you're going to keep your elbows and biceps and forearms, everything very tight. Some people like having their arms out like this. I'm not a big fan of that. Yeah, maybe it creates more tension. I'm just a fan of clasping the hands together like this. Some people recommend this. It's like a gable grip in wrestling, or you cannot have the thumb on. I'm not a big fan of that. It's very symmetrical. I can squeeze my hands into each other and my body feels symmetrical, and I get a nice contraction with my biceps. Everything feels good that way. So then get your hips under the bar, get a big belly and brace your stomach, your obliques, your low back, everything in your core, and squat it up out of the rack. Take a couple steps backwards, make sure the bar is not moving around, grab more air if you can, and then just squat until the bar or your elbows touch your thigh. Everyone's going to have a different mobility. Everyone has different body structure. So that last tip is going to depend on how you're built. And then just stand up. Simple as that. Now, one thing you don't want to happen during this exercise is to let your upper back sag. Sure, it's going to be rounded and it's going to be maybe a limiting factor, but don't allow it to over sag. Keep it tense in the slightly rounded position. Now, some keys to help the bar not slip out of your hands. During a squat, whether it's off pins, to a box, free squat with the Zercher, you don't want to shrug your shoulders up with the bar. This is more tension necessary. So I actually suggest you have your shoulders. Everyone always talks about having your shoulders down and back for a bench press. I want you to do the opposite. I want you to have them down, yes, but I want you to kind of round them forward a little bit. Because if you bring them towards your body, if you look what happens to your elbows, the elbow kind of drops and your forearm drops as well. It's going to be incredibly difficult to hold the barbell in that position. So do not row the barbell back into your body. You're going to want to have it forward. Think of what you do for a front squat. You have your shoulders forward to create the shelf. Think of that for the Zercher squat as well. That's the key when doing a squat. Now, doing a Zercher deadlift, I couldn't even do this with 95 pounds. Okay, I'm like, why is the bar slipping out of my arms at the bottom? It makes no sense. I go, how do I see people do this with over 300 pounds and I can't even do it with 95? They're not that much stronger than me. What the hell's going on here? So I figured this out. When you hinge down to deadlift, once again, you don't want your elbows close to you. The further you go out, the more you want to put your elbows out in front of you above your head. So think about stretching your lats. So you need good overhead mobility to make this work. Increasing that will increase the range of motion you get on a Zercher deadlift, along with the just muscle building benefits that you get from the Zercher deadlift as well. So that's how you get the full range of motion. You need to stretch out your lats. I try to imagine that I'm trying to touch the floor with my elbows. So you need to actively tense up your arms hard. You can't just let them hang. So you still need to be squeezing your fists. You still need to be squeezing your biceps, but this time you're just allowing your elbows to kind of point in the direction of the floor. Now, the reason you need tension in your arms, this goes without saying. Imagine if you were to bench press with a very loose grip. Imagine if you were to back squat without squeezing your shoulder blades and keeping a tight upper back shelf. The bar would roll, the bar would fly. So you can't just be like, la-di-da, I'm going to Zercher squat, cross my arms like this. It won't work, ladies and gentlemen. It just won't work. So follow those cues. Let me know if you tried it. Let me know if it's allowed you to add thousands of pounds to your Zercher squat. And trust me, get ready for your upper back to grow and your core to become rock solid. As always, have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.